All right, there it is. Welcome to Tonal Distancing. Thank you guys for hanging out again. We have a new face here today. It's Nick Fiorentino. It was really I had the opportunity to kind of chat with him, meet with him online at least. He's a guitarist out of Philadelphia, South New Jersey area, correct?
Yep.
So I first kind of saw he had this really cool video on the Third Power kitchen sink 6 VEL amp. It's kind of a Swiss Army knife. It does like a lot of things. I think it's like does a Fender, Marshall, Vox, kind of all those kind of tones. So I thought it was really cool, and he did a really nice review of it. Is there anything you'd like to add, Nick? I'd love you to introduce yourself to Prabhu and Zach as well.
Yeah, I'm Nick Fiorentino. That's a good introduction. Pretty much covered everything. In addition, I'm in a band called Mind Palace, which is kind of alternative rock and R&B stuff, and doing some recordings for my old band, The Cold Tour, kind of indie rock stuff that I'm working on right now. But yeah, the YouTube video, I'm glad you found it because it was kind of cool how it all happened, but it's just it's a baller amp. I don't know, there's not much else to say. Like there's such an in-depth video that I did. It was probably like 25 minutes just going over everything. But when you can find something like that where you're like, this is the best thing I've ever had.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the way I feel about it. I'm like, I will not be able to get a better amp than this. It's like everything. It functions the way I want it to, you know. It allows me to think freer about like my playing and stuff, even though it's more complicated now. But I'm like, oh, there's no question what I can do with this amp, you know.
You're not trying to like peruse like online, like, okay, do I need this amp, this other amp? Do I need this other one? It's all in one. And you're talking to Prabhu and Zach, who are Axe Fx fanatics. So they'll probably try to talk you out of the amp, the real amp game. But I'm happy to be on a show with another person that plays the real amp at least every once in a while, like these guys.
I got the Line 6 Helix too, so I'm dipping my feet in both sides of the...
We don't need to mention that. So, sorry. Real quick, I just wanted to just thank you again for being on the show and everything and come to hang out with us. I'm sorry, I don't know what were you going to say?
I was just like, yeah, I can dip my feet in both sides, the modeling and real amp world. But yeah, thanks for having me on. It's exciting. I've watched a few of your guys' podcasts, and I think you have a really cool thing going on. I'm excited to be a part of it.
All right, great. So real quick, you have your YouTube channel, Nick Fiorentino. We'll be sure to post that up. Also, Instagram at Nick Fiorentino. Mind Palace at Mind Palace Music on Instagram. And then your old band was the Cold Tour.
Yes. Well, TOUR.
Okay.
Cold Tour.
And that's also at the Cold Tour on Instagram. So, does everyone have a drink or something? Even just a thought to cheers to. So we always start this show off with a toast. So a toast to the lords and ladies of music. Please be kind to us as we drink and help us as we continue the journey with our music. Nick, who would you like to toast this week?
I'm going to toast to my guitar hero, Jimmy Page. Jimmy Page, the GOAT.
The GOAT. Zach, who are you toasting to?
I don't know. Come back to me. Every time.
Prabhu, who are you toasting to?
So I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Oh, he's on mute, so I guess he's toasting
yeah, he's
to
not
nobody.
toasting to no one. He's toasting
I'm on mute.
Oh, he has bubble tea also. I'm
on mute?
Oh, now you're good. You were
Now
just
you're
silent.
Oh, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but my coworker showed me this band called Tides from Nebula. They're based out of Warsaw, Poland, and their guitar player's name is Maciej Karbowski. I'll write it out here, but they're a really good band. You should check them out, like instrumental post-rock stuff.
Oh, Zach, do you have your person yet? I'm going to toast to the best guitar player in Guns N' Roses ever. Just kidding. But I'm going to toast to Izzy Stradlin.
I thought you were going to say Buckethead.
You thought I was going to say Buckethead.
I thought our shared Spotify session the other day taught you well.
It taught me stuff, but it didn't teach me well enough, I guess. Zach, you got someone now?
I'll toast the Buckethead. Buckethead, who's just not in Guns N' Roses.
That's fair. That's fair. I'll take it. It's a good day. We need more
Gotcha.
guests on frequently so
In
Zach
honor of your
behaves
puppy,
himself.
I'll do it for your puppy,
For my puppy,
but not.
I'll rename her Buckethead.
Well,
You
to those.
really should.
Well, cheers, guys. Thanks.
That bubble tea looks so good.
I know.
Dude, Haley
I
came
want that
through.
bubble tea.
I didn't even. I didn't.
What else is everyone
I
drinking?
didn't plan on this. But
I
I'm
got
drinking water.
Bushmills and lemon tea.
Okay.
Got a Moscow mule myself.
Oh, nice.
I haven't had a Moscow meal in so long.
I love a good ginger beer. So do you are you ready, Nick, to unleash your fury on us and give us an intro riff that will melt our minds and bend our fingers into places unknown?
I'll do my best to explain it too, because this riff is from my band Mind Palace. It's on our song "Take It Easy" on our EP Solstice. So I didn't write this riff. The other guitar player, he's a monster. Like, I'm a good guitar player, I know. Like, he's a freak. So I had to learn his part for some of the recording, just for like tracking. And it took me so long to like. I could never have figured it out if I didn't have to force myself to. And yeah, let's see. Let's see if
I'm scared.
This is what it is. Try.
Hard, yeah. It's hard, like neo soul kind of thing.
Ooh,
So
that's
let's check it out. Yeah, it's hard.
So, who wants to try that first, guys?
What key is it in, at least?
Yeah, what key? Where are we starting? Zach is going to get it in 2 seconds. Come on, Zach. We believe in you.
I'm lagging.
It's in. I think it's in D. Technically.
Okay.
Basically,
That sounds right.
Help. I need to explain this. Basically, what you're doing is you're bouncing between inversions of a D major 7 and an E minor 7.
Oh.
So the first chord.
What frets
E
are you
major
playing on
7
that?
starts on 16th fret D string, and then you got 18th fret G, and then 15th fret, 17th fret.
How do you play that? Like, oh, that?
It's really hard. Yeah. And then you go to so major inversion, starting on the 12th fret, and then you bar the 14th fret. It's all on the same strings the whole time.
So it's
Yeah.
so. Oh, so that. Yeah. Whoa. Is that? And then it's barred. Which one? It's a. Which?
Yeah, 14th.
So take your middle on 14 for the E, B, and G string. Take your ring finger for those strings.
Oh, is it just
14th.
that? Like,
It is. So take.
Play the 12th fret on the 12th fret D string, and then you bar 14, 14, 14.
oh.
If anyone's interested, I don't teach lessons. This is what.
We got the first 2 chords. We got this.
I'll strum it out first before I do any of the.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it, because timing's really hard and fast, but eventually your hands can. This third chord is this 11th fret D, 10th fret B and E.
Oh, it goes down there. That.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Oh, yeah. I feel like my my fingers are too fat to.
Think of it as like a minor chord barred starting on the 9th fret. Like a minor barred chord, but you just get rid of the A string.
Do you guys like Modest Mouse a lot? Because I feel like these chords really remind me of Modest Mouse. Like the beginning of Float On.
I know what you mean.
And it's really pretty.
But it's the 10th fret on the 9th. So it's even more strong.
Oh, okay, so it is.
Oh, yeah. So on the E it's brought up to the 10? 10? Oh, okay.
So then it's like, it's a little like, kind of, taking the pinky on the 12th fret,
Ooh,
sliding it. Just sing, and then another 7. Or no, it's a major 7.
Yep. Not one.
No, you probably bar 7. And
I was doing the same one
8.
as the last one.
9 on 8.
This is a puzzle.
Yeah. You're gonna play the 10th fret after you play that chord. So.
Do you recommend finger picking?
on the B.
Or do you play it with the pick?
Oh, I'm with the pick.
Okay.
Finger picking.
Wait, so 10th fret on which string?
On the B string. Sorry. Kind of the shapes. There might be one different shape, but those are pretty much the chord shapes that you have to know. So then it's. I'll play it from the start. That's like the first half of it.
Dope. I'm gonna focus on those first 4 chords.
What I feel like the like that lo-fi studying girl thing, the YouTube playlist, like I feel like this reminds me of a beat that's on there. Like I feel like she's just riding to this. There's rain in the background.
Yeah.
What was the first 16? And then 16, 15.
That first
16.
chord though. I feel like
Yeah, that throws me off. It's like
why how did this madman that you play guitar with like decide on this chord? It's awesome voicing, right? It's like a very unique like if you told me play a major 7, it like up in the high register, I just cut off like an A form chord and play that, but like going for that D form chord in like the way he did is just really interesting and
yeah.
I like stuff like that. So give him props, please.
Well, I dive into the second half, or should we stop?
no, you can keep going.
Yeah.
So
We'll be here for a while doing this.
I'll play it one more time because I mean you can kind of put it together after that. Then here's the second half. Yeah, so some new shapes in there.
That's crazy. Let me just get the first chord at least for that second part, and then I'm gonna stop pestering it, and we'll have you just play the whole thing one more time because I think it's really cool, and I want to hear it all in one more. So what? But what's the first chord that you got there?
E minor 7 with like a hammer on kind of.
E minor.
Oh shit, that's dope. I feel like it's just like it's minor 7 is so common, but doing the hammer-ons in there is really intricate.
Real Instagram art player.
Well, Kanem puts out a song in like 3 days. That's just.
Yeah, there you go.
That's all I need. You've written a song for me, Nick. Thank you.
Nice.
Going triple platinum on that one.
Yeah.
And then, Prabhu, do you need more chords, or do you want to hear this dope thing again, and then we'll just bust a fat beat in the background too?
Yeah, I honestly, I feel like this needs a nice hip hop beat behind it.
It does have kind of that on our EP.
What did you say this name of the song is?
Take It Easy.
Take It Easy.
The first song on the EP.
Well, everyone should go check out that song, and we'll try to
can do
embed
some
a
link.
link or something to your Spotify.
We should link to the song in the description so that like
we can check it out. Yeah.
We'll do. Okay, so play it for us again so we can all drop our jaws.
Yeah, I want to hear the full thing played. I'm excited.
That's dope.
That's cool.
Yeah.
the ease and like this, like it's so funny to say like you're playing that fast, but like just from like doing the first 4 chords, I'm already like that shit was fast. Like you might as well be playing like just Holy Wars.
How do you play that live?
I don't know. I'm playing some other part under that. As I was like, it was really interesting. It was hard to play a part with that. While he was playing that, I was doing like a. Because there's not much you can play unless you're going to do some like Jackson 5 thing where you're like.
Holding an octave for an entire song? Zach, do you have any
Dude, about that? No,
what was the song that you played at the piano bar? Right? Was it Freebird or was it
Zach plays which band is it that you play in that you do this sometimes because you guys covers and Great Scott.
Yeah.
So like it gets too complicated sometimes, right? And you just gotta be like,
well, it's not just that.
Root.
It's people will request a song and it'll be like a song I've never heard in my life.
Oh man!
So all that I get is the key. So I'm like, crap. So I have to follow the keyboard player. So I'll just sit there the whole song going, I'm walking on sunshine, like like some stupid, like, and I'm just like, okay, like making it work, like whatever it is, just, and like nobody knows, so it's fine.
Bad music.
As long as you look like you're having a good time, like.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, wow, you guys are so good. I'm just a liar.
Little volumes turned down all the way too.
Yeah. I roll that off too. I'm like hiding in the back, like
you're playing your guitar like a bass.
Might as well at that point. Or just put my guitar down.
Just start playing All Nightmare Long in the background.
Yeah. Definitely.
I want to go hear your song now, really bad. Like I really want to listen to this song. It's like very catchy too.
Yeah, that's our kind of thing. It's like we have like 4 songs on this EP, and me and him aren't like we didn't grow up listening to R&B, but we both went to University of the Arts. we both went for music business, but like, very involved in guitar playing. He's like one of my best friends. So finally decided to do a band, and we're like, it just turns out like sounding like us. It sounds like rock at the end of the day. But it's like, this is cool stuff we've been listening to, and we really like it. It comes naturally to us to play this kind of, neo soul, rock, R&B, whatever you want to call it, alternative stuff. And it's cool. We have like elements of that within like super digestible stuff. Like, we want it to be complicated, but like scaled back as much as it can be, so it's still accessible.
Well,
Yeah, cool.
You say scaled back, and then I'm just still thinking of those first four chords.
I'll play the chorus real quick. It's just this.
Well, yeah, you guys need a breather.
Yeah.
Like, that's just the chorus. We try and keep it simple.
You gotta ebb and flow. So you guys went for in the verses, and the chorus is just like preparing you for the next verse.
It's just, you see all three of our heads just...
You just bop to it, man.
I'm just here, like the 8 Mile scene where it's like... Just all of us, like, oh, yeah, this is cool.
I feel like I struggle with like that idea of, and even like your tone right now is like spot on for it, because like I struggle so much with the feeling, and I don't know, is that the tone you guys use for the recording and everything?
No, I mean that it's I didn't have this sample when we recorded it, but it's pretty much that. I'll use my Billy Joe Armstrong signature.
Okay, nice.
With 90s, yeah. Really versatile guitar, but I use that for most of the EP and Telecaster. Yeah,
so it's like a little bit more clarity with like the single coils then.
Yeah, a little bit, and it was still like you had a Dr. Z Cure, which is like a Fender. It's kind of like a Fender Twin,
okay,
but with an effects loop, and you can gain stage it really well. But I use that for all the amp sounds.
We're gonna put a thought bubble around Kanem's head with the P. Damn, I need some P90s because we all have P90s guitars. P90s. I don't have it in my. I have it in my SG, and
pathetic.
Convincing him about P90s.
Pathetic.
And then
I grew up listening to Green Day. Like, that was my favorite band growing up.
You have a junior,
pretty much.
give Les Paul Jr.
It's a Les Paul Jr. double cutaway, right? So I'm gonna have to throw myself out a window. Okay, thank God.
Oh, that's cool.
That's dope.
I don't want to spend much on a signature Les Paul Jr., but he has this one from like I guess it was like 2011. He started playing these ES 137s, and they're awesome guitars. And I got it for like $1,000 on Black Friday or something.
What are you playing today?
Awesome.
I am playing my Gibson Midtown Custom, which I got in high school. I saved up all my money from lifeguarding over the summer, and I'm like, I got a great guitar. And it's came out in like 2011 or something. And it's basically somewhere halfway between a Les Paul and a 335.
Okay, so is it like almost as similar to like a 339 then, or is it like still have a little bit more body?
A little bit more body than that. It's flat. It's a flat back.
Oh, okay.
It's not like 335s. It sounds more like a Les Paul version of the 335, 339 semi-hollow thing.
Okay. No, that's awesome. I love the thirst to like save up for a full jet. I don't think it.
Oh, that's my whole life, man.
my life with guitars is more like, okay, like how can I finance this? I can't. I'm not gonna sit down. Like, I need a payment plan where they tell me how much I need to pay every month. Like I'm terrible at saving in the first place.
No,
but
that's how I've afforded stuff now. You just got a payment plan.
Yeah. But no, I was just gonna say I have had a P90 guitar, but it was actually Epiphone Riviera, and I had like 3 dog ear P90s. Really awesome guitar, but I think I just play with too much gain, even for like the rock and blues stuff I do. That the feedback was just killing me on it, and like I just never felt like 100% comfortable with it. And so I guess my question is like, do you guys have issues with like your P90s in a live environment, really, or because I feel like at home, I could rock on that guitar all day long, but as soon as I took it to a live environment, I was just like, okay, this is becoming a mess.
It's not too bad. I've never had really too many issues. I mean, if you just have a lot of gain and you're not playing anything, it'll just go. Woo! But if you can just roll off your volume in time.
I think, babe, you're calling it my sloppiness.
Mine was really bad on my gig on when was my gig? Friday. It was just like screaming, but it hasn't done that before. I think it's just like kind of based on the venue too. But it was just like it was pissed off. So I just threw a noise gate on, and then it was fine. But it was pissed.
that noise gate in your Axe Fx just.
Yeah,
so
I was gonna say, Kanem, you could just get a noise gate, or if you wanted other pedals with it, you could get a Fractal Audio Axe
noise gate for like $100 or like
$2,000, and you get a noise gate.
Yeah, you get a noise gate. You probably get a couple noise gates. Really, you have your choice of noise gates.
Stereo or mono noise gates.
There you go.
Screw noise gates. I let it hum.
Well, sound engineers probably hate your guts.
I never have a noise gate these days. I haven't had a noise gate since I ditched my multi-effects pedal. But speaking of noise gates and gigs, what have you guys been up to the past week in guitar?
I have not.
You have not?
I just know guitar for 2 weeks, pretty much. I play guitar since we got a puppy. So, but now I played last night.
You got a puppy and you just ditched your majesty? I don't know, man.
And that's like having a kid, almost. Except,
and it's also the music. The music is like on the upstairs, and all the stuff has been on the middle floor. But when we did this sound check last night, I held the guitar. I was like, oh, I missed this. This was I needed this. And I was actually way better. I think taking time away and then coming back, I don't know if the muscle memory or something, I just needed time to digest. But I was like, oh, I'm actually playing better than I did before. So
I think cool. I think that's a thing. That's totally a thing. Except you never want to necessarily take the break. Like I don't. I'll just be like, I suck. And then I'll just accidentally take a break for 2 days, and then I'll come back and be like, okay, I'm all right. I'm all right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that happens a lot.
Back to just being mediocre.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
For a second, I was the number second Zach Hayes.
The number second.
Number second.
We joke a lot that there's a million Zach Hayeses. And it's a very common name, so we joke that he's the number 5th best guitar playing Zach Hayes in mid-Michigan.
I wear that title proud.
Nice. Hang your hat on.
He's the one that we got. We're still on Instagram and Facebook looking for other Zach Hayeses.
Yeah, we want to find
up. But
we want to find the number 1 to 4 Zach Hayeses for him to prove his worth and beat that title, but. Until they get on this podcast.
Guitar battles on this show.
It's like
number ZachHayes@gmail.com.
Yeah, wow, crap. I gotta claim that real
quick. Is that email exists?
Hang on.
Why didn't I think of it?
I'm about to go check.
We gotta get the handles and everything, man. We gotta get Instagram, TikTok. We're just gonna be putting out videos.
Send them out. Let me know.
There we go. If you want, we'll all just rotate on those videos. And what about you, Nick? What's been your week in guitar, or has it been your Mac? I know you've been fixing up your computer, right?
Yeah, I just got a new Mac Mini 2021, so I've been trying to get that to work. But I've been mixing a little bit, and then preparing with this dude Dave about going into the studio soon in a few weeks.
This dude Dave.
His stuff is all punk music. It's great. It's I'm just breaking out the Billy Joe Armstrong guitar and really high gain. It just sounds like old Insomniac Dookie guitar. That's what I'm playing that. So I'm that's awesome. That's super easy. That's in my wheelhouse. Don't even have to think twice about it.
Forearm strength down picking.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's like all stuff like that. And I'm like, that's the song. That's great. It's fun. So I've been working on that mostly.
Dope. All right, so are you just like recording with Dave, or like are you writing with him and everything?
Kind of everything. He's doing like a 8-song album EP. So we're supposed to be finishing it up next few months, I think. I'm kind of like the person that's doing all the, helping prepare it for the studio, sending files to people to record, like half producing it. I don't know what you would call it.
I'd call it half. I mean, it sounds like full producing if you're doing all the emailing and shit.
Basically what a producer does.
You're managing the whole project.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of.
Well, I don't want to take. We don't want to take away from Dave. Dave is like obviously doing his thing too. So we want Dave to come back to you for another project.
Yeah.
We don't want Nick did everything, Dave. That's gonna be our single sound clip. Nick did everything, Dave. Do more.
This just becomes a podcast for people to like air their dirty laundry.
Yeah, I was gonna say to just
do a
to just shit on John Mayer and Eric Clapton.
I'd like to do a verse real quick and dedicate this verse to Dave. It's just like, dude, what did I do?
I thought we were cool, man.
At least you picked a generic name, or like it's not like.
Oh no, that's his real name.
Well, I know, but you didn't pick like Prabhu or Kanem, which is like, oh, I fucking know that guy.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be even better if he just came on the show and like we've been working on a project. Like, yeah, I've been working with this kid Kanem. Like, there are no other Kanems that Nick is working on. We're doing this blues project. It's definitely me. But no, that's awesome, man. I feel like it's been cool talking to you because like your hat is in so many different things. Because I know like you fix up guitars, and then all the recording projects and bands that you're into are a part of. Like, I feel like that's like a goal for me to be involved more. But like, it's always so tricky. Like I balance like my work life and then trying to play guitar, and then part of like diversifying has been doing this podcast, and so that's been really fun. But it's just I hope to be like you one day, Nick. That's all I'm trying to say.
It's a lot of effort. Like sometimes I'm like, should I just really dive into one lane? But that's just not the way my brain works. I'm like, I kind of want to know everything, and I kind of was in a position early on, like graduating college. I just interned at a studio, really learned how to record well. Minor Street Recordings in Philadelphia. Really great indie studio. Then, I was fixing guitars there too. I'd done an internship in college and apprenticed at a guitar shop. Then, I've been playing guitar since I was like 10. So it's been a culmination of everything. And now like I have like a 9-to-5 now, but I'm doing so much music on the side that it's just like all the work I put in is kind of like snowballed a little bit. So it's been good. It's all been like, it's kind of like some weeks I'm like, I have no guitar repairs, and then I'm only mixing or I'm recording or it's just like 10 guitars in a week, So it's cool. It's a lot of different mixes. And I'm just like, I'm just going to be me and just kind of do everything. I don't know. My goal so far until I have to do something else.
I feel that. I mean, I like that you like actually repair guitars too. Like I'm no like wizard at like fixing up, setting up, and repairing guitars, but I did try to make or like modify a guitar and like make a guitar like when I was in like I think it was in high school, and it just went terribly. Like I got to the part where like you have to like create like the neck with like the body is like the easiest shit. Like you just cut that out. I was working with like my friend's dad who did woodworking, and they came to doing the neck, and like it was just part of it was like that high school thing where it's just like, okay, this is getting like way too far, and I want to do other things. And so by the time we got to the neck and the fretboard, I was like, this isn't worth it. I already have a guitar. I don't know why I'm doing this.
It's hard, man. I definitely don't. I can't make a guitar from scratch, but who knows how it would go? I mean, I've just never tried, but it's like the people who do it, like luthiers, like it's really tough. It just takes a lot of time to get good at it.
That's why I just buy guitars now.
Also,
I'd like to try to build one day, but I I don't think we're. I think the main thing we want to talk about today is not building guitars. It's going to be like building your rig, right? We got pedals, we got amps, and I think we all want to talk about them because this hunk of wood is cool, but really what's cool is like what makes it actually scream. So I don't know who wants to go first, talking about like the 3 pedals and or amps that like kind of you wanted to talk about today. Like what inspired you? What inspires you to play? What keeps you interested? What was like something really fresh or really new to you, or maybe even like your oldest piece of gear that like has always been on your pedal board or is always part of your sound? So I don't know who wants to go first.
I think Nick's our guest, so
I gotta hook some stuff up, so someone else.
So I
go
guess
first.
not
All right.
Nick.
Prabhu, you got your sample.
Sure,
and everything.
I do.
Your plug-in.
Mine's a little cheap, but I will start. I'm kind of doing it as a. You mentioned pedals and amps, and then what's funny I was thinking about is like I don't actually have that much gear. I use the Axe Fx for pretty much everything.
I mean, that's a good point because Nick and I are using like pedals and amps, and then Prabhu and Zach end up using like the Axe Fx mostly. So
yeah, so I mean, for
old
me,
school versus new school.
Yeah, and what was the approach I had was like first I was like maybe I'll dive into like a specific amp on the Axe Fx, and I was like no. So my first one is just the Axe Fx in general because it's my amp, my pedal, my everything. But in general, what I loved about it is it really felt like a pivotal point in playing guitar for me because it was a lot of money, but it was I upgraded from the Line 6 Pod, which was cool, and I'd used that for a while, but I just felt like, so even outside of guitar playing, I just felt like there were quality issues or just durability issues, and getting the Axe Fx just felt like something I could trust in, and just it worked. And then from a guitar playing standpoint, whenever I'd play it, I just felt like I sound so different. Like I feel like I want to play guitar more. Like it's not, I get that feeling a lot playing a new guitar, but I'd never felt that with like an amp, where I felt like I could tell just almost a difference in my playing because I felt like I'd hear more response in my, like I was paying attention to more articulations. You want to say something, Kanem?
No, I just think that's like really crucial is like part of like I know like there's kind of like just consumerist culture of just like buying things to fill gaps in your life, but sometimes with like a passion like playing guitar or a purpose like playing guitar, it's like something that keeps you playing, and that's a really good point like that you brought up, that like it kept you playing and encouraged you to play.
Well, I actually think it's almost like the opposite of the consumerist part, because I think before I was just like obsessed with, I'd buy these things that are cheap to buy a bunch of things and just I'd keep wanting to buy things, but again, Axe Fx, I've had it for, it's gonna be 3 years now in a couple of months, or 2 years maybe, and for me buying it was like, now I haven't really had a need to buy much else, and I invested a lot up front, but I wanted something that was high quality that I could just get the most out of, and I haven't really run into any issues, and I love it. And I mean, even just so the first part is the Axe Fx, just like the sound thing. I'm just using a preset that's straight off the Axe Fx called Petrucci Rig, but they have one that's called Learning to Lead, just things like the reverb and delay for like the. It just, when I played that, I was like, oh my god, that sounds, and I'm playing it on Majesty, and I guess a good guitar for the Petrucci thing.
I think you bring up a good point too.
Yeah.
Because I feel like people underestimate when you get something like a multi-effects pedal, and some of the times those presets just help you. It's not going to use just the presets all the time, but they help you figure out different sounds that you just may not think of on your own in the pedal board that you have.
Yeah, and things like how responsive, and it actually made me learn about amps and stuff so much more, because it's so diving into the nitty gritty of the Axe Fx. I don't know if you've seen, I'll share my screen, but there's a software.
You don't need 10 million amps to do it.
Yeah, there's a
Oh yeah.
there's each of these has so many, like, just if you go into the amp block, there's so many different things for each thing that I don't even touch half the time. But like down to like the stuff about the power supply and stuff like that. That's just so crazy that like what's cool is that if you want to get really nerdy and into it, it's like perfect for you. But if you don't and you just want something off the bat that you want to drag in and sounds great, like me, it's perfect. It's just, it works. And little things like just
you have 2 lines of input but only 1 output.
I think what that is, I don't actually have 2 going in right now, but you can do basically like so Petrucci, what he does is
I'm just saying you could do stereo.
You can do stereo, and what's cool with this is a plug for My Majesty. With the piezo, it's actually, you can run a stereo cable out of here and run the acoustic into one input and the other into another input. So then what you can do is you can mix both separately. Cool stuff.
That's
cool
fun.
Stuff like that. The next,
What I really like about a modeling amp, or Helix, the Axe Fx, is that you can, it's cool to hook up a bunch of pedals, and if you have all these different ones, it's awesome. But you don't have to worry about cables, and you don't have to you're free to just experiment. You're not held back by it.
Well, yeah, and the other thing that you can do is stuff that's almost literally impossible. One of the things I do with plugins a lot is after the cab block, I'll add a distortion, which is you can't do that in a real rig, but it sounds like. And I love that, and it's so weird and so. It's just it really expands.
I'm not sold, Zach. Don't take that smile.
I was smiling because Zoom just did not like that tone. It was not having it. It sounded like a blend.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear it back later and just yo, I love the Axe Fx.
I think you showed me that one before though, and to vouch for you, it melts your face.
Yeah,
you can hear it properly.
So does Zoom like that one?
I'm doing fine on mine.
It's a little better. Yeah, maybe it's just my headset. Maybe my cheap,
yeah, call
center headset. Just
my second pedal. So my second pedal really is a shout out to the. I'll bring it out here, but I've wanted one of these for so long. The Digitech Whammy. I didn't plug it in, but I'm gonna show it. I use the pitch block. So I like it for the whammy feature and the dive bombing, and I'm a huge Tom Morello fan. So this was always something I wanted but never had. I use it on the computer a lot, but in the last couple years I've been using the pitch shifter more on it, and I'll do it on the Axe Fx instead of that because I didn't plug it in. But I like doing stuff doing not just octaves, but really messing with stuff what I have right now is a normal voice, and then one that's down a seventh. So then it gives you this really cool harmony. Or let's. And it sounds really ominous. And what's cool is you can add that with distortion, and it sounds like. And it sounds really weird and funky and cool, but then you can I don't have a clean thing on here, but if I roll the effects off, and then you can do these if you add a lot of weird spacey stuff, you can get really spacey, kind of atmospheric stuff out of just using a pitch shifter. So the real shout out here goes to the Digitech Whammy. I'm just doing it on the Axe Fx, but that's been a pedal that has really changed my approach to writing a lot too. And the Digitech Whammy is just iconic. I don't know, it just looks. I love red. I just love the look of that. I want to build a pedal board, and I want that to be the central thing in it, just a whammy. But
you're gonna do an art piece.
Yeah,
art pedal board.
Hey, that'd be pretty sick. I mean. someone who does artwork wants to make a pedal board that looks cool. It's
Always
just
something- if you just have free time and you want to make that for me.
I'm just yeah, I know. It's just gonna be control switches for the Axe Fx. But
You can put like a bunch of fake pedals on there.
yeah.
It's gonna be all Boss Metal Zone
Yeah.
and the Digitech whammy.
Yeah, Digitech whammy.
And only the whammy's plugged in, and then everything else is just a switch for here.
Yeah, it's all for show. My third one is a plugin that I've been using a lot. It's called the Dark Glass Ultra by Neural DSP. This is actually a bass plugin. So it's like a bass distortion. I think it's an amp and cab simulator too, but it's basically, it's like a pedal amp cab simulator, and it's super cool, and it really dirties up the bass. And I've used, for bass, I've never owned a bass amp or bass pedal or anything. I do want to invest in a nice bass pedal, but I've used different plugins in the past, and I bought this. I tried this one out for 14 days free, and then I was like, oh my god, I need this. Like, it's like $100, $200. Neural DSP stuff. I really sold on all their products, and I'll show it in a mix, and then I'll show it solo. This is just a metal song I've been working on recently. And then I'll go a little bit farther.
Working on that Doom soundtrack.
Yeah, that's that. I should probably mute that out. I'm trying to write something that's very much like Doom. And
Are you gonna mute me?
Hey, there you go. You gotta wait at the end.
oh the yeah, exactly. Splice is the best. I love using splice samples. But what's cool about this is that the so the guitar I play in drop E, so it's a normal 6 string guitar down to. So the reason I say that is that it was really hard writing bass and guitar for this, because I couldn't write the bass tune down one, but I tuned the bass and the guitar to the same thing, so they're in the same octave. So if you hear the bass, it's so I could take out the dirty. This is just a DI. It's probably pretty low right now. But then this pedal really dirties it up. And I like that. It gives it this grit without muddying it up. And then what I do is I mix the DI and the dirty together. And then I mix the guitar in with it. And so what I love about that pedal is because in this case, the guitar is in the same octave as the bass, even though it adds this grit to the guitar tone that I don't need to do with the guitar. And I think sometimes a lot of guitarists overlook in the mixing process how much the bass does for their tone. So that's why I love that plugin. I think I got it, and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna use this on everything. So those are my holy trinity for today of guitar plugins and amps.
You ended your trinity on like the most devilish sound ever. That honestly, that sounded phenomenal.
Well, thank you.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, my friend did that pedal. It's awesome.
The Dark Glass.
That's a great. Yeah, the Dark Glass. They're a great company.
Yeah. That's the thing that the Fractal on is the bass sounds. And for me, I mean, in general, with bass, I don't even think about the bass amps that much. I like just recording DI, and then you could just throw a distortion on a bass, and it's, I think, good. I don't think you need an amp, because there's so much there already. And yeah, so I think in terms of like plugins and stuff, like plugins right now are so powerful that, like, you know, even if you don't use something like an Axe Fx, you can buy just an amp plugin from them for like $100, and it'll sound pretty close to like a real Marshall amp or anything like that. So yeah, I'm a plugin guy, not a pedal analog person.
A pedal geek.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I just never
You just never want to spend like $100 at a time for a single pedal that you have to, like, you can't put it in post.
Well, there's the. I was telling you guys that like I've never mic'd a guitar, and I've never but I love how pedal boards look, and that's why I want to build one, because I do think there's this creative thing to it that seems really fun, of just like building your own pedal board
of a bunch of boxes.
Yeah, like my friend Mac let me borrow his pedal board for a week or two, and it was beautiful. And
did you borrow it?
Yeah, he broke his arm, and I needed to play a show, and then he wasn't using it, so I was like, "Can I use your pedal board?" And he was like, "Sure."
Ooh, that's a good question. Nick? What's more valuable to you, your pedal board or your amp?
Or your arm?
Dude, well, definitely not the arm. That thing grows back.
I mean, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
dude, there's a guy on Instagram who plays with his toes, and he just rips. Straight up.
I don't want to think
serious,
about.
But please,
I mean, the dude rips, but I don't want to think about toe play.
Dude, he's that.
I know he's good, but like it always. I'm not gonna lie. It always just kind of just like, okay, someone's toes on the guitar. I don't know. Anyways, Nick, my question.
Well, Nick's pedal board. I don't know if you're showing that today. I don't know if you want to go next, but your pedal board yesterday that you were showing us, that I was just like,
I pulled two things off, so I can show it after I go through my pedals. But what's more valuable? I think I would say my pedal board. It's close because my pedal board is, there's a lot of money in it. Like my renter's insurance is great because of all my music gear. But no, just like building it up over time, I have stuff that can do everything, and I built it like I had a lot of stuff at UArts where we would have these like Blues Juniors and stuff, and they're fine amps. So I was like, I want it to be better. Like, so I would just like get one or two really good pedals at a time, in addition to like other pedals, but like that would be like really good, and they would stuff would come on and off. But there's been a few like my Strymon pedals I've kind of just built up over time. And
how do you feel about Strymon? Like, I feel like I the only Strymon pedal I have is the Iridium for like amp cap sim, but like as soon as I got it, like I understood why Strymon was like so sought after. And
there's, what the thing is, like there's pedals with higher like quality converters in them, like technically higher quality, and they're still like kind of the best. Like they're just so good from the core. Like it's art, It's the same way like someone makes a really high end car. Someone's gonna make a faster car eventually, but you're like, still that car is awesome,
Yeah.
Strymon, like, the timeline's like 10 years old now, and it's still like one of the top selling pedals.
It's like
like no one.
It's like the Audio Technicas, the headphones. Like they're not the best in the market, but they're amazing, and everyone loves them.
What? You saying something?
Dude, I kind of want to get a pair, even though like I have headphones. Like,
but they're just really great. I really love them. Nothing sounds like a Strymon Big Sky. Like there's some really good reverbs.
Yes,
but
that sounds like my friend Mac, that pedal board I borrowed for a week had that, and I was just like, it had that and the pod, and then the. What'd you say?
You should have broke his other arm so you didn't have to give it back.
No, we ended up. Yeah, I mean, no, he ended up getting his arm back, but I mean, I think he let me borrow it still for a little while.
Rats, yeah, you could have sold that arm.
Think of how many pedals you could have gotten for that Majesty, Prabhu. You could have had multiple big skies.
No. You could have had another Axe Fx.
Another Axe Fx.
Now you're talking my currency. It's like, how many Axe Fx is this?
I have two.
Two Axe Fx?
That's a whole different.
That's a whole
issues.
Basically,
I have a problem.
He did.
It's a backup, right?
It is a backup. It was supposed to be a replacement, but it's been sitting in a box next to me.
The new one was his backup.
Have you plugged it in at all?
COVID. No, it's in a box. I straight up haven't opened it.
So you straight up have. What if you open it and because don't they have like a return policy?
Dude, I have had this thing for like freaking 9 months.
Honestly, you could don't return. Resell.
I tried. No, I tried. I tried to see if I could exchange it for the more convenient travel-y one, and they're like, no.
Just resell, dude. Reverb, mint condition.
But
You'll get
That's
your
what
money
I'm
back.
probably going to do because now I'm getting married, man.
yeah.
I gotta sell my axe.
Married.
Fx.
Yeah, and I'm broke, and I'm just like, I want to open it, but I'm also like, I don't want to open it because I want to sell it. As soon as I open that box, it goes down in like $700.
Don't open it then.
So I'm just not gonna open it. I'm just
Open
gonna
it.
sell it.
Open it.
Kanem,
Open it.
don't play games.
Open
I'm
it.
not listening.
Open it. Why don't you just
I'm still
open
listening,
it?
but-
Open.
Go live unboxing.
Yeah, live
But,
unboxing.
Live unboxing.
I don't think we had that traction yet for him to make the money back.
I don't care about that.
No,
I just want
no,
to
we
ruin
do
it.
not. We certainly do not. Kanem, you're evil.
we're
I never said I wasn't.
Person.
we're hijacking Nick's top 3.
Yeah, top
Yeah.
3. Nick, here you go.
Guys, chill.
A fresh Axe Fx is in his top 3.
To my top 3.
All right,
So
Nick,
you
your
said
top
this, yeah.
top 3.
Did you have your? Was the Strymon? Was that one or the?
Oh no. My first one. I don't know if I'm gonna plug this in, but it's the Chase Bliss Audio Brothers overdrive. So it's a really cool. I think it sounds kind of like, if you really gain it up, it sounds kind of like a Rat overdrive. It's like this dip, but it's a really usable, like, pretty mild overdrive. But you can MIDI preset the overdrive pedal. So I would do like pit orchestra stuff where I would have the master volume up like there for a song. If it'll focus. And then I'd be like, for the chorus, right there. Like, it's so useful to have for like chorus, bridge, louder, just even simple things like that. It's like,
Does
it's just really awesome.
does that get hard with a MIDI patch change where the knob's not actually changing, but the value is?
A little bit. I would sketch out. I would just print out blank like sheets of it, and I would just remember when I'm doing all the programming, like where everything's set. I would be like, patch 43 is set here, and then 44 is up.
So you basically just kept it at 12 o'clock for everything, and then just the patch change.
A lot of times, yeah, I keep them the same, and then when I need like a chorus sound, I would just write down, just keep detailed notes. Their
This is
new
where we
stuff.
go into our Excel spreadsheets.
Yeah, right. The new ones have they have faders that are motorized. The Chase Bliss Audio stuff, so you can.
Shit.
Yeah, it's great. They're like $750. Insane.
I just
But
like the idea.
You can-
Just so the motor moves. It's $750.
yeah, they're awesome though. But they're a great company, Chase Bliss Audio. So that's my one. My two, which I will hook up. I recorded a video on this and I'm editing it now. It's called the Paul Cochran Tim pedal. This is like, if you ever heard of the Timmy, you ever hear that pedal?
Yeah, it's like the
You
MXR.
stole mine. You stole
No,
mine.
this is the Tim though. It's a different one.
Well, mine's a fake one too, I guess, because in the axe. But
It's a
okay,
good-
sorry.
He's got the
No, but-
pin. It's my cheap knockoff.
It's the Jimmy.
Jimmy.
The Jimmy.
Well, so you know about how awesome it is, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I won't talk about it too much, but if you leave everything at 0, it's a clean boost, which is really awesome and useful. I got this because I was like, I need my old band, the Cold Sore. I was using a thing, and my volume wasn't going high enough. I was like, it was just starting to distort and feedback. So I would like max out the volume, and then the bass and treble. What you can do is when you turn it up, it cuts the signal. So you're cutting all the harsh frequencies that are affecting, the boost. So you put it in the effects loop, and you can like cut some of this stuff coming through the amp, like on your, chain already. So that's even without like gain. It's a really good overdrive pedal, but it's super useful for like stacking, and you can put it after something that sounds really bad and just clean it up. It's probably the best boost pedal I've ever played. Like, I want another one, but they get super expensive now. Like, people have gone crazy about this. This guy worked on the Klon, I think. He's not the guy that invented it, but he worked on something with it. So he's like one of the famous pedal builders, And then, so the thing about the Tim is it has another a drive and tone stage. Let's see. There we go. drive, and tone. So when you hit the boost right there, it'll be loud. And I just drop it and pull it.
Oh no, he dropped his favorite pedal.
I'll buy it off you now for 50%.
Yeah, the value just went down.
Scratch and debt. No, but so if you hit that, it just is like extra gain on top of it. But I love that pedal. It sounds amazing. I can plug it in. Let's see.
Yeah, let's hear something on it. It's interesting that you bring up. So like you, this is your Timmy clone, or is it? Yeah, your Timmy clone, and then the first one was what kind of pedal was it? But it's like interesting that you bring up like 2 drive pedals because I feel like it's always super challenging. I always had that's where I do the most like pedal exchanges is in like my drive stage where it's just like, okay, like I like this for my overdrive sound and I like this maybe for like my more gainy distortion sound, but like I'm always on my pedal board I'm always like changing those out. So it's like it's interesting that you brought up are these like the 2 pedals that you've like changed out on your board, or are these like, I think you showed us yesterday, these are always kind of on there, right? So I don't know. I find that like interesting. It's like always like a challenge. I feel like Prabhu, Zach, do you guys have like that challenge of like, you know, switching in or swapping out like your drive or overdrive, or you guys just stick to one and go with it forever?
Honestly, I hate spending time on my guitar tone. It's almost a chore. Like that sounds so bad, but like it takes me so long it takes so much for me to finally be like, okay, today I'm going to work on tones. Yeah. And every time I do it, I'm always really happy about it. Well, okay, until if I can't get the right tone, then I'm just pissed off. But usually when I'm doing it, I'm like, all right, this is pretty fun. But like, I don't know.
That's why you gotta.
I'm just impatient. I'm just like, I want to pick up my guitar. I want it to sound perfect. And yeah.
Well, Kanem, to answer your question, if you have an Axe Fx, all you need to do is, and then just press minus, and then you go,
yeah.
And you got another one,
Obviously.
And then you got, and then.
But you guys don't have separate boxes. I don't understand how it works. Like, how do you?
The tonal
if you
variety.
have a separate box that you have to spend the time of like unplugging and replugging back in, like, did you really do anything?
That's a thing of the past, bro. We live in the future.
I swap amps more than on the Axe Fx. I swap amps more than the actual drive pedals because I pretty much stick to a tube screamer or something as a drive, and like I'll play with fuzz and stuff. But when it comes to like dialing in a tone on the Axe Fx, I swap out the amps so much, or then get so nitpicky about like this Marshall amp versus this Friedman amp, because that changes the tone so much. And then I just see the pedal more as like it's the
like a color.
Yeah, it's the.
I mean, like
toppings.
I think to add to what he just said, one of the big advantages of the Axe Fx is that you don't really have volume barriers, so you don't have to crank your tube amp up to get a certain level of distortion. It's essentially attenuated. So
just buy buy Zach's Axe Fx for full price.
Just if you want to buy it, bro.
I'm gonna go with
that.
If I go with one, I will go with the FM3. I've decided, but I don't know if I'm jumping in that pool yet.
Oh no! He thought about it.
I thought about it.
His foot's in the door, dude. I've thought about it once too. So did Prabhu.
Anyways, Nick, let's hear your Timmy.
Real quick is like the reason I love the Timmy. It's like another channel on your amp because it's so clean. You can just like, I mean, I have like 3 channels on this amp basically, but you know, here's like, I'm just gonna go with a clean-ish tone. And then I'm adding a little bit of gain here.
Can't do that in the Axe Fx.
So you can start to punch the treble.
We can't because we can't play like him.
That sounds awesome.
There's still a lot of gain on tap there. That's not even like halfway, but it's really usable in front of the amp and in the effects loop too if you just leave the gain clean. I use it in the effects loop mostly, but
Do you use that to like boost in the effects loop mostly?
yeah, just to boost in the effects loop. But now my amp has like a dedicated volume boost, so I don't need to do that. I'm probably gonna just use it in the front.
You said you're a big Zeppelin fan, and you toasted up Jimmy Page. I did Jimmy Page, my first Guitar Hero. Could you play a Led Zeppelin riff on that, like kind of dirty, that first slightly gained? Because that just reminded me when you played that of like Led Zeppelin. I don't know if that was a subconscious thing, but it just felt right. Just was like clean, but
I was getting a little fangirly.
I am, man.
He's gonna ditch his Axe Fx.
I like it.
I like
yeah,
it.
No, bro.
So, what's a good riff you're thinking?
Oh, what do you like? I don't know. I was thinking it sounds like Led Zeppelin 3, like something that's like cleaner, but not super like.
What's on that album?
Or like.
Well, Immigrant Song.
You
know that tone I'm thinking of, kind of like.
I have to think of I know Led Zeppelin by probably I had a greatest hits compilation like pack that I grew up with like these 4 awesome CDs. So I know it more from that than like Led Zeppelin 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh really?
Yeah.
My first CD was 4, but then
if you're thinking it'll. Like it's totally like that, like out on the tile.
Yeah, it just when you played it, it had this bite, but it was so clean, and that was something that like I always thought was interesting about Jimmy Page's tone. It's like it somehow fit that middle thing of like it wasn't like AC/DC, which was just like distorted.
Yeah, he would use small amps, and he was like people underestimate him in the studio.
True.
Like, he about like he knows how to. He's like I know how to mic an amp. It's always something to work on, but like he just says like I've heard a thing where he used a Leslie. I think it was on Communication Breakdown. He used a Leslie that the motor wasn't plugged in, and he had his amp going through that. Like that's how you get that tone. Like everyone's like, "Oh, it's a Supro." That's a Supro through a Leslie, not spinning. Like it's crazy the kind of stuff like he would do. And it's just he's kind of like. He was a guitar. He like did a lot of guitar tech, like, and he was always a perfectionist while also being a sloppy guitar player. He kind of had his foot in everything. I think that's probably why I've always like
because you're Jimmy Page.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, Zach was like watching me.
I'm Nick Fiorentino, a modern day Jimmy
Not-
Page. And Nimmy Phage. You have Pim Renson. And Nimmy Phage. Slash.
Slash. I think, yeah, Zach, you were talking about I'm fangirling and you like it. It was like, it's we only have topics about Slash and Guns N' Roses on here. If you just got the right bands and the people that like
right.
Jimmy Page was my Slash growing up. Like I wanted to wear a dragon suit when I was growing up because he wore these pants, bell-bottom pants that had dragons on it. I was like, that's what I want to be. I don't even care if I play guitar. I just want to be that. I want to be extra like Jimmy Page.
I imagined you in like a costume, like a dragon costume.
No, just
like from like Dragon Tales. Like the big blue, like.
You're like, what Jimmy Page are you thinking of? Like,
yeah, I was like, I don't remember that one.
Yeah. Is that your?
He's my favorite.
I think you have one more, right, on your list?
I have one more. And then my last one will be my amp, which is the Third Power Kitchen Sink 6VEL. The company Third Power out of Nashville. The person who makes it, she's a genius. She's so fucking awesome. It's a Vox, it's a Fender, and it's a Marshall. And the clean channel is the Fender and the Vox, and you can blend in between them. And then there's black face and brown face for the Fender, and then there's normal and top boost for the AC30, and they sound very convincing.
Wait, you can
then
blend the Fender and the Marshall tone?
Well, no, you can blend there's like a rotary. I don't want to move the camera
No,
now.
you're good.
but
You're good.
For the
Yeah,
box.
It's like a rotary knob on the clean channel where you can just blend between each side. So you can only
that's
use
dope.
one at a time. But like if you
Okay.
can get like the edge sound, because he would blend a Vox AC30 and like a brown face small like Fender amp, like a Tweed. I can show you real quick.
It's third power. I was looking up third party kitchen sink amp and I just kept getting faucets. I was like, I don't think this is it.
I think
Not
that's
that.
exactly what you're looking for.
So
It's a garbage disposal.
here's the Fender sound. That's kind of the black face, your standard twin. The brown face, like more of a Neil Young kind of sound. Then normal AC30 channel. That kind of thing. And then you get the top boost. Like it sounds exactly like all of those amps. It's like, I would say like 95% of the way there, honestly. And so then you can blend them. So let's do top boost and brown face. I'm going to do 50-50.
Okay.
Trying to think of a U2 song without any delay. It's kind of hard.
Good point.
Yeah.
He would do that kind of thing. And then the Marshall channel, you basically have a blues breaker and a 68 plexi.
Okay.
JMP. Or JMP and JTM. So it's a good, I think. Oh, hold on.
I love the sound of that.
It's a more classic kind of sound, and then so the JMP.
You were talking about Holy Wars, Kanem, earlier.
I know,
Yeah.
right? I feel like it's
Here,
Christmas.
You add the gain, it sounds exactly like. It sounds like identical.
Yeah.
You get the ATM
Just
with the high.
tube screaming into it.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. I don't even use that many pedals into this. Like as long as I've owned this, I haven't used my pedal board with it because it's just so many. Like I have, but like not. I have not dove into it because it's just so many sounds. I'm like, I don't need more sounds than this. But
It sounds about
So,
right.
yeah.
You don't need more sounds. You have
Yeah.
a kitchen sink. You don't need an Axe Fx.
everything in the kitchen sink,
That was beautiful.
That is exactly like ACDC. Like it sounds identical to what these amps sounded like.
Kanem and Zach,
I mean-
you guys have competition for your vibrato. You guys.
I'm okay with that.
but-
So yeah, those are my three. And then it's just great spring reverb. That's another cool thing. Let me just crank the spring reverb.
So, I like that a lot.
I think I had my mic on, but
That's satisfying.
yeah, that's like all the way up. It's still pretty usable. it's not too long of a spring reverb, so I really like it. Then there's just a bunch of features like good presence control, and then like a body control for the bass. It's freaking crazy.
I'm looking at it right now on the website. So this is a tube amp.
Yep.
But it models different, like...
Yeah, there's like a bunch of preamps in it, basically. And you can even swap... I haven't done it yet, but you can swap it with 6 E6s or 6 L6s. I have the other two, too. So you can bias it.
That's crazy.
It's
Dang,
a lot.
Are you gonna get a real amp?
I mean, I have a real amp. I have
No, a tube amp.
I have a
real. Not.
I've got a Vox practice amp that has some tubes in it. This is not a full tube.
Not
amp.
new tubes. We're talking real tubes.
Not one of your YouTubes. I'm talking about real tubes.
I mean, no, but to be honest, like watch Nick's video. He really goes into it.
I watching this, I'm sold. I was like, that sounds pretty damn good. And like, it was interesting. So it's an amp head, right? Not a cab too.
I have the combo.
Yep, it's a combo amp.
It's a head. You can just get the head by itself. You can get combo.
Okay.
For like 400 more.
That's what. So I thought this was a solid state amp, and because you were talking about the modeling or having different amp sounds, and then when I was looking at it, I was like, what is this? Like,
what's wild about it? She managed to do something that was just crazy. Like I had an old amp by them, the British Dream, which was the Vox AC30. It was a 59 Vox AC30 and a 68 Plexi, and that was like my sound. I was like, wow, I can't get better than this, and I'm like, it's fucking hard to play clean.
Oh,
really,
yeah.
Just because of how it's setting, there were non-master volumes, and then I got a clean Fender amp, the Dr. Z Cure, and then I was kind of like, this came out, I was like, oh man, that's literally all 3 of the amps I have.
And are these?
Take my money.
Yeah.
Are these made only on like request, or because I can't find it on? Like
he's trying to buy it right now. We're gonna do a live buy. Prabhu's gonna do a live buy of the kitchen sink. Zach is going to do a live open of his Axe Fx.
Live auction.
We can do a double premiere special thing on a live stream.
Yeah, it's you can order through like a dealer or something. They have a few.
Cool.
I think there's one I got from N Stuff Music in Pittsburgh.
That's what I was seeing online. N Stuff Music at Pittsburgh.
Yep. Financing of that. Well, good now, but it's a lot of money at once, so you have to sell a bunch of stuff.
Oh, Zach, you got that Axe Fx to sell? I
mean, do you want to get married, or do you want? Like,
do you want a kitchen sink amp? Uh-oh. I'll edit this part out.
I was going to say, bro.
But yeah.
It's fine.
Well, thank you for showing us that.
Yeah, that was sick.
Yeah, that's super cool.
That's just a quick... Yeah, check the video out. I forget what I call it. Just third power kitchen sink 6VEL demo. Yeah.
So, Zach, do you want to show us your 3 favorites? Zach's favorite things.
Okay, I'm pretty bland, to be honest.
I'm pretty bland. I just
not gonna lie. Yeah, it's kind of an
I should just have a Fender Blues
It's
Jr.
like this ultimate, it's like this ultimate sandbox thing. So many guitars, so many amps, so many effects, and I just use like 3 of them. So. Yikes.
I've used a Line 6 Spider within the Axe Fx.
Bro, might as well, bro.
I run the Axe Fx 3 into the MP3 in of a Line 6 Spider 3, and then I mic that and run.
And then you throw on the Metal Zone pedal, like the meme, like I'm talking about.
Insane channel.
Everyone, yeah.
Or the Metal Zone, yeah.
Everyone hates that pedal, but it's a good pedal.
I love that pedal, man.
Yeah.
Well, I have a love-hate relationship with the Metal Zone because it was the first pedal I had. Like I think when I first started playing, my dad had this guitar when I first started playing, but he didn't give it to me immediately. As like an intelligent person would not give a 10-year-old a Gibson Les Paul double
Dude, why
cutaway.
are you slamming your dad right now? That's so
I'm
mean.
t- I just
dude,
Just
your
call
I
him
did
not
the exact
intelligent.
opposite. I just called my dad intelligent.
I thought
by
you said
not
like
giving-
I thought you said not intelligent. I was like, dang, dude, that's not cool.
He is intelligent. So, but I remember like in like because it comes with like he had this in a standard Gibson case. So under that flap there's a metal zone pedal, and I used that for years. And I feel like the one moment in time that it counted, and this is gonna sound real funny in a lot of ways, was I was playing in my middle school jazz band. And I was going into my solo for Evil Ways, and I had my metal zone pedal to go into the solo, and the thing just pooped out completely. Like a potentiometer and like one of like the volumes or the master gain or something just completely was out of whack. And like I hit the pedal and my sound just like cuts, and then like I try to like cut out and cut in again, and then it just crackles, and I'm in front of like my whole middle school just bombing.
I love
Evil
bet
Ways by
every
Santana.
kid there remembers that. That's what they remember.
They remember more than me.
Yeah,
Kanan's
that's what they remember.
Kanan's just there like
That's the kid that
like,
forgot to play the solo.
why is that guy have 3 metal zones just in line, just all on right now? What's he about to do?
What was that, Nick?
The problem is you didn't have a backup metal though.
True. If I only had 2 in a row.
Dude,
You should have had like a backpack on or a fanny pack with an additional metal zone that you just whip out. You know what I'm saying?
It was. I believe it was the week after I went to a store, took my $20, and bought the most precious fab distortion pedal ever.
Throwback.
That never died.
you just needed to run it
Anyways,
into
Zach,
the insane
Show us
channel.
the metal zone pedal you use.
I don't actually use the metal zone
Metal
pedal. I don't actually use it. I'm so sorry. I don't really know what this patch is going to sound like, but so this is the patch that I was using for a while, just for recording stuff. It's a Fender Deluxe with. What do I have on this? I'm just gonna do my favorite presets. It's kind of like a mix of both. You know what I'm saying? And they all pretty much sound the same, just slightly different. Just about. No, this one's Fender Deluxe. It's got a little bit of slap, delay, and a blues breaker drive. I'm pretty sure.
I guess with the blues.
I think. So I'm going to switch over to it. Hopefully it's not piercing.
That sounds awesome.
I feel like I need to like perfect the slap.
Sorry, I was a little out of tune.
No,
I was out of tune.
you sound.
Yeah, that's what we were.
Huh?
I feel like I need to.
So we were definitely paying attention to that.
You don't need to be humble, Zach. It's okay.
Yeah,
Guys, stop.
but I feel like you perfected the like. I need to. What I need to do is perfect the art of the slapback. Like you always have a great like slapback delay whenever you play, especially for like any clip or thing that you put out there. Because if you're just playing guitar, like a slapback is just like a perfect way to like add that extra depth.
It always sounds so good. Like I always forget to use delay with like a solo tone, and anytime I play, I'm like, why does my guitar sound so good? I'm like, oh, there's like a tape delay on it or something, and it's like if you force yourself to do it, like you just always it's something you're like, this tone it sounds good, it doesn't need it, but like a lot of those times, like you just put a slapback or put a tape delay, it always just like makes it sound super professional, like yours did. That's like. You said like Fender Deluxe. I was like, okay, I wasn't expecting it to sound like that. Like the blues breaker is probably going pretty hot, and then the tape delay, it just thickens it up a lot. I love
So
it.
you had a delay to your rhythm playing?
So I've been experimenting with a lot of things. It was very gainy because again, I'm a Slash fanatic, so I have a really hard time. Wait, am I? I just use too much gain all the time. I use a little bit less gain in my go-to preset right now, but I'm trying to progressively roll it back.
Stay true to who you are.
What was the question? Slapback. I use slapback on the rhythm, kind of. I feel like it's almost redundant on this preset just because I run it really hot. I feel like using the slapback, it almost adds a little bit of clarity in a weird way. I'm not really sure how to describe it. It just like kind of makes everything like a little more snappy. I mean, it's a slapback, so that makes sense. But
so you just
I don't like.
really
I don't.
Fast.
It's pretty fast. I can. Well, I can't pull it up right now. I'll find like
3 milliseconds.
I can send you the preset or the
yeah, man.
pedal,
you can go.
The pedal formula because we can do that.
Log on to Exchange.
Kanem. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Meet you on the forums.
All right, so yeah, meet you in the forums, boy.
And do you have it like where you can toggle it real quick?
Yep. So on mine, I don't know if Prabhu has the foot switch. I have like the one that I'm using right now is like it's like a compact, like travel-y kind of version. So it, can I show you? I can kind of show you. There we go. So it's got the foot switches and everything. So that was a really bad way to point at that, but those 8 right there, you can just kind of slap or stomp and it'll reflect the change right there. You can slap it with your foot. Use your foot. You know what I'm saying. All right, I'm struggling. I'm really tired today. Just bear with me, okay? I'm really... Bop! When I change my tone, I just reach down and smack it. But lately, I've been using the matchless...
Ooh.
Crap. I always mix up which one it is. What are the 2 matchless ones? DC something?
Probably DC 30 or something.
I think I'm using the DC. And immediately the first thing I notice is just like there's a crazy like clear quality to the amp. It's just very clear. Like it's almost like a transparent overdrive in itself. Like you just kind of add stuff to it, but it just still maintains this really nice clarity to it.
It's called Matchbox on the Axe Fx.
A Matchbox.
I got you, bro.
This one, I might. This might pierce your ears, so I apologize in advance. I don't know if these are lined up well, so brace yourself. So this one, I like this amp a lot, especially because I use the volume knob to really kind of get a few different tones out of it. It's just like I can pull the gain back a little bit for more of the classic rock kind of stuff, and then if I need to just throw it on for a little extra face meltage, I can do that. So that's cool. So here.
Oh, there's that riff. Oh, shit.
Must join Prabhu.
You guys gotta show me.
He did that once when we were recording. We're supposed to record it. Oh, he didn't even need.
Dang it, I did it again. I got everyone playing stupid lick. It's the podcast killer. That's what we should call it.
We want to
because it just ruins whatever we're doing.
We want to make it our theme song because we spent.
What was that, Nick?
Stop being so tasty with your playing.
Well, he did that once, but we were supposed to get through an episode about something, and then he did that, and then it was like an hour of us just going.
Like literally, it's just.
And we had to record it a different day because we just couldn't get through it. I think.
All right, I'm gonna stop it before no.
Oh God!
Just-
Oh
you
no!
just stop it. I know. I'm so bad. That was only.
We need to explain it to Nick. Do you want to know our secret?
Oh God.
Okay, so the secret, Zach, you explain it. It's a D major chord, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's you want to know the secret? Zach, explain it. So, if you were just playing a D major chord, well, I was doing it in E, right? But so you go to the sus note, and then bend half up to it, and then just outline that triad shape. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
There it is.
This is how
You're inducted, brother.
This is how we make the cult
Welcome.
spread of Tonal Distancing.
Welcome.
Tonal Distancing podcast.
Before we do this for 20 straight minutes again, I'm just gonna keep moving forward with my stuff. So this is it. This is with that little extra gain to it. Kind of tune to drop D.
Dude, why are you
Tune to
tuning?
country drop D.
Why are you tuning right now?
So I can play my Bud Light song.
Ugh.
Chevy Truck Month.
I just want to fill my Ford F-150 with a whole keg of Bud Light. And
Just oh no, my phone died.
Dude, that's how powerful.
Perfect way to go out.
It
Yeah,
just end
There
with
you
a
go.
bang. He's just gone. That's it. That's all.
How do I switch
Thank
my
you,
camera?
Zach, for your
Thank you, Zach.
Oh, there we go.
contribution.
Hang on. No, guys, I'm back. It ain't like
He's
that.
back.
It's just low quality.
Play the
Just low
revival.
quality.
Bring it back to life.
I'm back. So the last bit. Okay, I'm almost done.
You got it, Nick. That's-
So
We picked 3 topics just for you, Zach, just so we could talk in threes.
we're not even gonna get
and
to
this is-
Kanem. It's just 3 people. Too.
Yeah.
I'm just going to talk about my wall. That's all I'll do.
this is kind of a more of a P90 thing, really. Sorry, Cam, to flex on you.
So much shade. The disrespect.
I can't really hear what this sounds like right now, so it might sound like horrible, but and this is also an EQ thing, and actually it kind of ties into a pedal. So there's this crap. What's it called? I'm blanking on the freaking pedal now. I have a actual one somewhere. It's like a tan colored EQ pedal. It's just
Boss
like
EQ pedal.
a Boss. Yes, GE. Yeah. That's it. So there's a guy on YouTube named Tim Pierce, and he kind of shows you.
Monster.
I love that guy. He's so good.
Pierce. He's one of my favorites.
Yeah, he has this video that kind of shows you how to use it to get different types, like guitar tones, but like if you're playing a Les Paul, like how to use the EQ to kind of EQ in like a Telecaster kind of sound. So I have one of those on my preset so that I can kind of throw it down and get more of a single coily kind of sound. It's probably not quite there, but it's something. I don't know how loud this will be. What's that?
It's probably pretty close and like super convenient if you're just like playing a song. You can just switch between. You can switch between guitars in a song.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's kind of the thought process behind that I had behind it, at least. But
Did you just use it like a mid boost or like a scoop or?
so I do use one as a mid boost, not with this current preset, but with other ones for the lead. When I boost like my lead tone, especially if I don't have much of a mid range, I'll use that kind of to push that frequency a little bit more. But so Les Pauls, I think, are more mid-rangey, like punchy, kind of probably a little bit, definitely more low end than like a Strat or a Tele. So you kind of pull those frequencies out and boost the higher frequencies a little bit. I'll send you the video. The video's super cool. But so here is the tone. Like I honestly don't know what this will sound like in the interface.
sounds super close. Like, if you didn't tell me you were playing a Les Paul, I'd be like, oh, it's a single coil. I mean, like, it's, P90 is a single coil, but, like,
Yeah.
That's so different. Like, that's really awesome.
It's convincing? Okay, cool. I just wanted to be convincing.
Kanem's like, how am I going to afford this Axe Fx and P90s? Like, oh, man.
See, you can get that pedal, too, and it's pretty amazing, especially on the video. They do a way better job of, like if you're bringing a Telecaster to a gig, it's a lot easier to turn something like that into a Les Paul, because it's easier to add those frequencies than to take them away. But
something I've been doing lately with, like, I had this JHS color box, which I'm using actually for the interface for my mic right now, because it does both. It has, a parametric EQ, and, you can cut and boost. So a lot of times I've been trying to get like a Queens of the Stone Age or like Metallica. They boost around 400K. Like, with the way they mic it, like, I was listening to a producer who was like, it ends up being like a 400K boost. And also, the guy from Queens of Stone Age, that's what he ends up boosting. So you can like sweep, or like with the graphic EQ, you can like boost those kind of frequencies and like just train your amp, just something you wouldn't be able to do with like just a tube screamer or a boost pedal even. Like, it's really cool to have something like graphic EQ or parametric EQ. So it's super useful.
yeah, I think it's an underrated kind of thing. Like, you don't really think about the EQ side necessarily as much, like that drastically, outside of just like your amp.
Because it's what you would do in an actual mix. If you were to go into a studio, it's not just your guitar tone that goes into it. It's all the EQing, compression, and so I feel like that gets left out.
Why do I feel like I'm being lectured?
Okay, no. Oh yeah, and my distortion pedal for that second preset was the Timmy. I should have said that with the matchless.
It sounded crisp. It sounded great. I feel like what's funny is like everyone went around talking about like how like their attention to detail to like the EQ, and I'm the person that's just like, I got 3 EQs over here. Why do I need EQ anywhere else? I know, like, I do like tone on like a distortion or on a boost or something, but I'm just like, I trust my amp, and then the sound guy can do whatever he needs to do at the front. I guess I'm just mean to the sound guy. That's what we're finding out.
I mean, you don't want to be mean to the sound guy and then trust him with everything.
That's why
I always tip him. So
I've never tipped the sound guy. Wait, do you guys all tip the sound guy?
It's courtesy. Yeah, I mean, it's.
I know most people don't.
Nick, did you tip the sound guy?
I don't know if I explicitly have.
Wow, so we're just
if I'm
bad people,
if I'm the leader of the band, which normally I am, I will tip the sound guy. But if I'm just like part of the band, that's not my responsibility if I'm just part. So
depends how much they're doing too. Like if there's some, if you're playing like a house show and it's like you're just playing,
someone just has a vocal mic, then it's like, okay.
Yeah, but if you're playing somewhere where they're micing your amp and they've got to mix your backing tracks and all that kind of stuff, and like,
oh yeah, then that's.
You want that?
Are you the leader of the band, Zach? Are you the leader of the band?
No, I'm the hired gun.
I think you're the hired gun. You are hired just much like the sound guy is hired, so it's not your responsibility.
He's there for that.
I just feel bad.
He's just there for that. He's just good looks.
You'd be like, yo, check out this sweet riff.
Yo, join us.
So, are those your 3 pedals or amps, or did you do 2 or
3 presets?
I think you just did 2. This is interesting.
It was like, I did a combo.
The same.
I did.
Axe Fx
they probably did. They probably did. I mean,
you did 3. You did a deluxe reverb, a matchless, and then a Timmy
Telecaster.
I was very close to doing my slash one, but you're right. You're right. I
Kanem,
did 3.
your turn.
I shouldn't.
Kanem.
All right, I'm gonna just do the wah, and I feel like I could go like, I'm not gonna go through my pedal board and everything. I just have a regular standard crybaby wah going into I mean, some people may not even consider this a real Marshall because it's made in Vietnam. It's just a DSL 40. I really like the amp because I feel like it's really versatile. It has a good clean, has a good crunch, has a good distortion that can get me most places I need to go. The only thing I did with this amp that is different from the stock is I did replace the speaker with like basically a Veteran 30. So, I think what Celestion has the Vintage 30 Guitar. Is it Guitar Warehouse speaker? I think they have the Veteran 30. So it's basically just like a copy of that, but it's like a little bit cheaper. And I just did it because I didn't really like I think it's like 70, 80 or something that's normally in these amps. It's not a bad speaker, but one thing when you're working with like I think guitar amps and speakers in the real world, Zach and Prabhu, is that there's so much.
Live in the virtual space, man.
You guys know this because you guys change your cabs, right?
Change. What do you mean change cabs?
Like, you guys like switch out which cabs you're using with which amp heads, right?
You're talking still in the Axe Fx, not like
within the Axe Fx.
Yeah, it's like I've never owned a cab. I've never owned it.
What's up, Nick? Am I a little loud?
Do it with one finger. No, you're
okay. But yeah, they do it with one finger. It's just like new cab.
Cabs do affect the tone a lot, and I think that is something people don't. So like even before the Axe Fx, I always use cab. I just load impulse response. Impulse response. Is that what they're called? IRs.
Impulse response.
Into
IRs.
And how that affects the tone so much more. Do you feel that on your do you get much flexibility with a combo amp in terms of like what you can?
I mean, as long as I replace I knew a big difference when I replaced the speakers. Like the Veterans, like maybe actually like the Vintage 30 or Veteran 30. Like if you go actually with Celestions, a Vintage 30. Vintage 30 is what Slash uses, Zach. So maybe you should get a cab with some Slash speakers, basically.
I use Vintage 30s in my presets.
So.
So good.
Well, what's funny is like I also have like a Strymon Iridium, and like that has the IRs. And what I've done, recently a couple times is I'll use the amp. I will go out of the send, right? So I get the amp, the preamp of my amp. What I'll actually do is I'll route it two ways. So like I'll use my chorus pedal, which has like a stereo out, to go two different ways. I basically use a volume pedal on dead zero, put that back into the power amp. So basically, I'm not like fucking up my like actual amp by doing that, by like letting it like actually just be its own thing, but being quiet completely. And then I take the other end and I go into my Iridium and I just use the IRs preloaded in the Iridium. It's basically a long way of just basically using an Axe Fx, guys. I know, but I've like messed with some of the different speakers, like a greenback and different Veterans and all these different like blue Alnico or whatever it's called speakers. And like the difference is just so like it's crazy, the difference like just a different speaker makes. So I already knew that like before I got this when I changed out the speaker in this. But this is just a long way to go to talk about a wah. But I think like the one pedal I definitely want to talk about. I give this guy accolades. The Will Smith that went to my middle school gave me this wah pedal for like my birthday or something.
The Will Smith?
The Will Smith
that went to your middle school?
That went to my middle school. So
I was like, dude, why haven't we had Will Smith? Yeah, number 5 Will Smith. That's not the famous Will Smith that everyone knows.
Well, he's famous to me. He got me this pedal. He's famous. I will always remember him.
Most important Will Smith.
This Will Smith gave me more than the other Will Smith. The other Will Smith has just put doubt in people's minds about vaccines.
Would you say that you love Will Smith?
I would say I care deeply. I guess. I don't know. I mean, I would say I care. Care. Love can be a very strong word. So I don't want to just throw that out there.
Oh, that was very well worded. That was good.
He's got this a lot.
I'm just seeking your approval. But he got me this pedal, this wah, just standard crybaby wah, and it was just funny because like he was like one of the first people that was like he plays saxophone, but he was like super into Jimi Hendrix. He was like the first person that like was trying to convert me from like a Slash fan to like a Jimi Hendrix fan. And
like how those can't be like those have to be exclusive of each other. They can't be
they
like
are exclusive.
Dude,
no one
you can be a fanboy one only.
Yeah, you can only do this, or I don't know. I know he doesn't use a wah in Sweet Child of Mine at that point, but those are the only two options. But he got me this, but funny enough is more for not necessarily for like hard rock and even like classic rock like Hendrix and stuff. It's for like specifically a Herbie Hancock song called Chameleon, which is just basically I'll play it without the wall. But I'm sorry if I'm a little out of tune. But basically, he was like, "That's not good enough," and this is like a middle school jazz band, and he was like, "That's not good enough. You need like more flavor in there,
more
and
metal
like,
zone, dude, more metal zone."
Yeah, I need more metal zone and more flavor. And he was just immediately like, "Here's this pedal for your birthday. Happy birthday." And I go to like the next jazz band practice, like, you got to use it on this song. And I was just like, and it just makes it like it goes from here to here. And like ever since then, it's like a pedal that if I go to a gig and I don't really want to carry anything, maybe I'm not playing too many songs. Maybe it's just I'm trying to kind of go with more of a stripped down, just amp and guitar sort of style. I will almost always have my wah pedal regardless. I'll just throw a battery in it. I can normally plug it into power, but I'll throw a battery in it, and that will be something I don't use on every song. It will be something that will come out if whether it's happen to play Chameleon again, or if I just need something. I mean, it's like it's one of those pedals that just I don't know. I as soon as I had it, I fell in love with it. Every time I meet someone that what's interesting is like when you meet someone that's like kind of maybe new at guitar and then you show them a wah pedal and they're just like, wow. I almost get that feeling like every time like I start playing with it again because I'm just like, wow, why don't I use this on everything?
Classic. I mean, it's one of the earliest really famous effects besides fuzz.
True.
I mean, it's one of my first effects I had. I think, is it Dunlop Crybaby?
Yeah, Dunlop Crybaby.
Yeah, I think I have that, and it's just, I think I got that for my 8th grade graduation. It was like, my parents were like, yeah, like, now here's an effect. Here's like a really cool effect or something. Like, my dad, like, I was like, oh, it's a cool, like, there's, you can fake a wah, but like a good one is, it definitely lends itself to different styles, but it's been around forever. No one's really, like, made that huge of an improvement because they kind of got it right.
And it's something that most non-guitar players can identify, like that, because that was I think my first 2 pedals I ever got was a Nano Muff Distortion by Electro Harmonics, and then a wah pedal. I got that Dunlop Crybaby from Elderly Music in Lansing, and I got the used wah pedal, and like that thing. It's just like when people would like, I'd have family or something that'd be like, oh, my parents would like, show them your guitar and playing. I could be like, everyone could recognize the like that kind of thing, and you could just play that, and they're like, oh, that's funny. Or I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna play sex music, and all that reverb. That reverb is still going, but the sex music is really long, prolonged, just ambient sex.
That was a really deep thought.
I know. But like the Crybaby wah, and it's like, I feel like a relatively affordable pedal for your first pedal, and it's like even the bass entry. I can't think of many clones or anything. Like it's just like that was something that was cheap enough that like my parents were like, okay, we'll get it for you. But it was like the thing that most people I watched played anyways. So it was kind of cool. I sold it off, but I have an expression pedal. But like I do want to get the Crybaby wah. It was, and it's cool because you don't just have to use it as like on time. You can like soloing. Talking about Jimmy Page. I love that how he just keeps it somewhere. I mean, in his first album is just all the way down, but like when he just keeps in that nice middle and you solo and you get that sweet spot where it's just it's like you said, an EQ boost. It just feels, it's so cool.
The guy from the band Boston, I forget his name.
Which one?
But the band Boston. Long time. You know the song Long Time.
Yeah. Crap. What was that guy's name?
That song.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. But the secret to his sound, he keeps like a wah pedal like halfway that solo. At the beginning of that song, yeah. So you get that really cool like distorted sound.
Isn't that like the same thing for like Money for Nothing? Like Mark Knopfler just like keeps the wah. I don't know how to play Money for Nothing, but like I think he just keeps the wah like I don't know, like all the way, or like all the way back. He keeps it like very throaty, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's what Jimmy Page did on Whole Lot of Love too at the solo. I think.
Yeah, he kept. Probably you were saying he kept it all the way down, right?
I think that I was talking about what do you call it? Communication breakdown. But
oh yeah.
I mean he does it in a lot of different things, but
I debunked that today.
Yeah, no, I mean it was just a pedal that's like always stuck with me. And this is the pedal I've had the longest on my board. Like I said, middle school, so like 10 plus years. Like not that this pedal has been with me since I've played guitar, but it almost feels that way. Like I don't really feel like in some way I don't feel like I started playing guitar until I had a wah. And that's what really like took it off. But like what's funny is like finally because Zach and I keep going back on like Slash stuff. That Slash has like Slash. I'm sorry for mixing you up with the real Slash, Zach.
Oh,
but
how dare you?
Zach has like the Slash Seymour Duncan pickups, and I feel like it'd be really cool. Like we're gonna probably do a Slash episode eventually. I think it would be really cool to get like one of the Slash wahs that he has had made through Dunlop, because there's just like so many extra features that he has on it that I think would be like interesting to try out, because I've only really had a classic wah. I haven't gutted it to like change the potentiometer capacitors to get a specific frequency. I just keep it basic, and then I just use my foot to like find like the sweet spot. Like I know if like I roll it back too much or too forward, I don't like that. So like I really actually like actively think while I'm playing with my wah to keep it in a sweet spot. But like it'd be cool to have one that's like just a little bit easier to fine tune and just kind of go crazy with.
You can kind of do that with a regular wah. You basically open it up and you roll the thing back. I don't know if you've ever done that, but
yeah, I haven't done that.
So you just kind of like, if it's too harsh, you can roll it back a little bit, and the furthest down won't be that. You just change the down toe, I guess.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just like, it's not like a mod, but you're just physically changing the position of the knob, so it never gets that harsh.
Well, don't some people like actually switch components with it too? Okay.
Yeah, you definitely do a lot of that kind of stuff, but that's one. If it ever gets too harsh, you can kind of get like a more, less trebly, less mid.
I feel like we're just gonna always just reach out to you, Nick. Hey, Nick, we're doing this thing. How do I make this better on my guitar and or pedal board?
I learned that stuff.
Explain coil splitting and coil tapping, please.
Talk for days about that.
Kanem,
what's your second one?
I was just gonna keep it at wah, because I know we're probably reaching overtime here.
I mean, we reached overtime a long time. We told you it'd be an hour, and we're at 2 hours 20 minutes.
I know. I already saw it coming.
We're just saying, what were they gonna be?
Well, so it's just gonna be. I was probably gonna talk more about my amp. Go through like each channel. I mean, it's nothing special, just like clean, crunch, distortion, extra distortion. And then the other one was just going to be, I think, Boss CE5 chorus. Like, I know it's nothing fancy, but one of the things I've really liked to do, I think this comes from actually using like some multi-effects pedals, like the Digitech, I think RP360, and I used the older legacy version of that before. But that like got me into like running stereo amps, and for a while, I would just run just like a single amp. When I kind of went away from multi effects pedals to just using amps. But I still really love using like stereo effects, and like the stereo chorus is just one of those effects that I just love. I'll just keep that on. Like if I'm just like jamming out by myself, I'll just keep that on. It takes like something like anything like even Holy Wars. So I'll go back to Holy Wars. I guess this is in stereo, but it takes it like to. I don't know, like add that wave really like to it. So and then it just when you have it in the stereo mode, there's like one side that's like dry, and then there's one side that's wet that really creates the space. So I'm sorry I don't have the stereo set up right now. I only have two inputs, one for my mic and one for my amp. But most of the time I'm just like kind of jamming out with like stereo stuff, especially with headphones into like the Iridium. It makes a big difference to me. So I don't know. Those are the only other like things I was going to talk about. So I think that this brings us to the end. It's been a really fun episode, Nick. Thank you so much for being on. And
thanks, sir.
Yeah. I guess real quick, again, follow Nick on YouTube, Nick Fiorentino, also at Nick Fiorentino on Instagram. Mind Palace is the band, correct?
Mind Palace.
Okay.
Yeah.
And at Mind Palace Music.
At Mind Palace Music. Yep.
And then Cold Tour was the other band, The Cold Tour?
At The Cold Tour. CULTOUR.
All right. So yeah, check them out. It's been really cool talking to you. Is there anything else you want to say before Zach? You're playing us out today, right?
Yeah, I said I would.
Okay.
I guess, yeah.
Anything else you want to add before we hop off here, Nick?
Nothing. I mean, I think we covered a lot today. Thanks for having me on. It was a blast. I mean, yeah, I can't think of anything else.
We hope to have you back on, and you know we'll go deeper into pedals or deeper into some of the recordings and releases you have coming up, because I know you have some things coming out. So yeah, thank you so much for coming on and reaching out to
Dude,
us.
Anytime. Definitely reach out again. I'd be happy to come back on, talk about some more stuff.
It sounds good. This is just what it is. We end up rambling, and then we like look up and we're like, wow, what? It's basically like we wanted the vibe to be like you were in high school and you were like arguing if Led Zeppelin or Guns N' Roses was a better band, and 2 hours went by.
Or in our case, it's usually if Buckethead or Slash is arguably better guitar.
There's no argument. Slash.
But
Don't start this.
I'm just so happy to have another Led Zeppelin, like Jimmy Page fanboy on here to like balance out the good and the evil kind of.
I mean,
Slash
I like
good.
Jimmy
Slash
Page,
too.
fine.
I like Slash too, but I didn't want to buy a top hat when I was a kid. I wanted a dragon suit.
A dragon costume.
I like those.
That's all. It's all
extremes.
purely fashion.
I want to have a top hat and glasses or a dragon suit. Who are you?
Exactly.
All right, play us out, Zach.
So since Prabhu didn't want to hear my Slash tone, I'll just use my Slash tone.
Wow.
If I close my eyes just for a little
Wow.
bit, I can see.
Wow.
I can close it. Wow.
Wow.
If I close my eyes and just pay attention to only audio, For a very
it feels like
Sounds like
Slash,
for a
right?
glimpse, I just see. I just see buckets, and I just. I can play Sweet Child of Mine too. I can do it too.
Oh yeah.
I've been to Guitar Center. I know how to play that song. Oh, you have a. Who's got the pedal? Who's got the kill switch on there? Is that you, Nick?
I'm just doing the 2 pickup thing.
Oh, the. I don't you think I could.
Where you destroy your switch.
Yeah, the.
Nice.
Tom Morello
Beautiful.
destroyer.
Yeah.
All right. No, we can't do this. I gotta go.
Wait, 1 second. I have one more thing.
Oh, is he gonna do some Slash stuff or some Buckethead stuff?
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Here we go.
Slash is the answer.
Now that is how you end the podcast.
And then it's 10 p.m. So we say 2 hours, and it's like already 9:19. Oh yeah, there we go.
Sustained.
Listen to Nick.
Sustain, mate. Sustain.
To anyone who's made it this far in the podcast, thank you for watching, and go follow Nick, and we'll see you next time.